All right, Milligan Brothers and Dunn scheduled up to start this second one. Second game off, the Blue Devils lose the first one to Cowley 3-2. Carlos Soto on the mound with his 3.56 ERA. Cody Mulligan steps in, takes outside ball one. Mulligan was 1 for 2 in the first game with a double. Here comes the 1-0. Just misses a little bit high, so 2-0 the count. See the tightness of the strike zone maybe already. Here comes the 2-0 to the catcher Mulligan. Misses outside 2-0, or excuse me, 3-0. Milligan also had a base on balls and a stolen base. Strike called, outside corner at the knees, 3-1. Misses low and outside. So a base on balls to lead off the game. That's going to bring up Blaze Brothers. He's the left fielder. He was 0 for 2 in the first game, reached on an error, scored a run, had a sac bunt, so he was 0 for 2. He steps in with a runner at first, nobody out. Back in safely on that pick play is Milligan. That ball hits the batter. It's going to bring up Dunn. Dunn's going to be up with nobody out and runners at first and second. Dunn was 0 for 3 with a ground out and a couple of strikeouts in the first game. He'll be up there on the left-handed side to face Carlos Soto, the starter here in the second game. First two hitters on, one by one, walk, one by hit by pitch. That misses outside, 1-0. 1-0 the count, runners at first and second. Infield and outfield the same for the Blue Devils. Soto on the mound and Everett behind the plate. Holy tight zone. 2-0 the count. On that pitch, a little bit low, evidently. 2-0 the count. Comes the pitch. There's a strike right through there. Right down the middle at the knees. Two and one the count. Strike called, outside corner. Pretty wide corner right there, but we'll take a strike called. 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's a foul ball into the left field corner. That had extra bases written all over it. Runners at first and second. 2-2 the count will do again. Swing and a miss of that pitch for the first out of the inning. So that's going to bring up the shortstop, Steenstra. Logan, number 3. He'll be up there with 1 out, runners at first and second. He grounded out 3 times to the shortstop last game. He steps in with 1 out. There's a line drive right at the shortstop. Bednar has that, tosses over to Harder, but safe back in was Milligan. So 2 outs now. Steenstra has hit the ball at the shortstop 4 out of 4 times in these 2 games. That's going to bring up Cade Steffens. the designated hitter. He flew out, grounded out twice in the first game. He'll be up there batting left-handed. Runners at first and second. Early going of this second game. The second game is a scheduled 9-inning game. The Tigers of Cowley County took the first one in 7, 3-1. There's a strike called. Comes the stretch and the pitch from Soto. That ball stays up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Milligan at second. Brothers at first. Two balls and a strike. Comes the 2-1. Strike outside corner at the knees. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. At the beginning, the very top half of the first inning in this, the second game. Comes the stretch and the 2-2. Misses outside, ball 3. So 3-2 the count. Runners will be going. Comes the stretch and the 3-2 from Soto. Way outside, ball 4. So that's going to load up the bases with 2 outs. That'll bring up Daniel DeSimone. Simone was called out on strikes, flew out to the warning track in center field and grounded out to the shortstop. He'll be up there with the bases full of Tigers. 2 outs, top of the first action. No score yet. Just misses a little bit outside. Soto seeing if he can get his Blue Devils out of trouble here in the top of the first. There's a line drive right up the middle. That's going to be a base hit and a 2 RBI base hit for DeSimone. That's going to bring up Sater. Sater's the second baseman. Carson. He was 0 for 2 in the first game, was hit by a pitch. He'll be up there with 2 outs and 2 on. There's a strike on the outside corner, strike called. Oh and 1 the count. 2 runs in on that. Bases loaded. Hit by DeSimone. 1 ball, 1 strike to Carson Sater. Comes the 1-1. It's a high fly ball headed for the gap. Over to look at that is Schrick. Schrick has it for the 3rd out. So here in the top of the first, the Tigers get 2. Your Blue Devils coming up. We'll be back. To the bottom of the first we go with the Blue Devils down 2. Acosta, Hinestrosa, and Santiago will lead things off for the Blue Devils. Adam White will bring his 9.22 ERA to the mound. Acosta hit a couple of fly balls and struck out 0 for 3 in the first game. He'll step in to face the lefty Adam White from Cowley County Tigers. Swing and a miss by Eduardo Acosta, the center fielder. Comes the 0-1. Ground ball right back up the middle, so a leadoff hit for Eduardo Acosta to get things started here for the Blue Devils. It's going to bring up Hinestrosa. Hinestrosa will step in on the left-handed side. He grounded out 3 times in the first game. Outside ball 1. He had a nice bunt down the third base line, but the third baseman did a real nice play to take care of him. Comes the 1-0. There's a strike on the outside corner, so 1 ball and 1 strike. Acosta at first. He had a leadoff hit up the middle. Lefty versus lefty. White and Hinestrosa over to first, back in safely as Acosta. George Specht at third made that nice play in the first game on Hinestrosa's bunt. Here comes the 1-1. Stays a little bit inside, 2 balls and a strike. Comes the 2-1. Still a little bit inside. 3-1 the count. Comes the 3-1. There's a ground ball headed into right field. That's going to be a base hit. Holding up at second is Acosta. So back-to-back base hits to start this one. It's going to bring up Santiago. Santiago was 0 for 3 in the first game. Struck out, grounded out, and had a deep fly ball to right field for out. He steps in with runners at first and second. Nobody out. Sun starting to shine. Wind still light out of the north. Comes the first pitch to Santiago. Misses low. 1-0 the count. Comes the 1-0. Outside and high ball 2. So 2-0 the count on the third baseman, Santiago. Acosta led off with a base hit, and Hinestrosa followed up with a base hit there on at first and second. Strike called. 2 balls and a strike. It's a high fly ball to right field. Over to the line and caught by the right fielder. Acosta will move up to second. Hinestrosa will have to stay at first. So the first out of the inning is Santiago with a fly to right field. It's going to bring up Jose Sosa. He'll be up there with one out and runners at the corners. Sosa had a double, a single, and a base on balls, so he was 2 for 2 and on base all 3 at bats. There's a breaking ball that just misses somewhere. It's equally tight zone. That is for sure. 1-0 the count. There's a deep ball headed to left center, and that's going to be at the warning track. That's going to score 2 runs and a double, a 2 RBI double for Jose Sosa. It's going to bring up Tyler Henry. So that double ties the game. Does Sosa. So still just one out, runner at second. Tyler Henry will step in. Henry was 2 for 3 in the first game. He had a single, a triple with an RBI triple and struck out, so 2 for 3. Score tied at 2, one out. Breaking ball makes it back to the zone. 0-1 the count on Henry. Comes the 0-1. Stays way outside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. To the left fielder, Tyler Henry. Comes the 1-1. There's a ground ball headed into left field. So a base hit going to move Sosa to third. Will have runners at the corners for Kemper Bednar with 1 out. Bednar, the shortstop. He was 0 for 3 in the first game. He hit it hard once back to the pitcher, and the pitcher had him out at first and then a couple of strikeouts. He will step in with runners at the corner and 1 out. I see a bunt in the near future. Outside. 1-0. The runner is going. A little tapper. Going to be safe at first. See if they score that an error or a hit. Close to. Not sure. It's going to be an error on the pitcher. So 3-2. That run scores on the air, so runners at first and second. That's going to bring up Griffin Everett. Griffin pinch hit in the first game, only to strike out. So he'll hope to get going on the other side of that here, catching the second game. So his first at bat, other than that ball all the way back to the screen. Not sure how that ball didn't hit him, but it didn't. So runners now at second and third. Everett at the plate. Still just 1 out. 1-0 the count. Bednar at second. We're going to get a visit to the mound and a pitching change. We'll get that information and we'll be back. All right, so the pitching change has been made. Number 36, Miguel Obeso, will come in. He'll bring his 4.68 ERA to the mound. So with a 1-0 count on Everett, a 3-2 lead here in the bottom of the first. Top of the first two for the Tigers and 3 so far with 1 out. Everett at the plate. It's going to be a strike called on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out to the platoon catcher of the second game, Griffin Everett. Breaking ball did not make it back, so 2 balls and a strike. Everett, I believe, is tied for third with triples in the conference. Comes the 2-1. The high chopper to the first baseman. He's going to underhand to the pitcher for the out. So an RBI ground out for Griffin. It's going to make it 4-2. It's going to bring up Matt Schrick. Schrick was 0 for 2. He popped out in foul territory and struck out in the first game. That's outside. 1-0 the count. Kemper Bednar at third. Matt Schrick at the plate. He's the right fielder. Outside and in the dirt. 2-0 the count. Comes the stretch and the pitch from Obeso. Swing and a miss, so 2 balls and a strike to Schrick. Comes the stretch in the 2-1. A little bit low. 3-1 the count. Comes the 3-1. Low ball 4. It's going to bring up Trace Harder. So 2 outs now. Harder at the plate. Harder was called out on strikes and walked. He was 0 for 1 in the first game. That ball misses just a little bit low. Looked pretty good from here, but nonetheless, the home plate umpire ruled a ball, so 1-0 the count to Harder, the second baseman. The Blue Devils send 9 to the plate. There's a foul ball out of play, so 1 ball and a strike with 2 outs to Harder. 4 runs in, 2 outs made, 2 runners on. Number 9 hitter, Harder at the plate, the second baseman. Adam White goes 1/3 of an inning, the lefty. Now the righty Miguel Obeso on. Runner goes. They're going to throw through, get him in the rundown, and the run scores before the out is recorded. So at the end of 1, Blue Devils lead 5-2. We'll be right back. Top of the second, action we go. Soto back for his second inning of work. He's scheduled to face Specht, Halstead, and back to the top of the order, Milligan. Specht, the third baseman. Specht was 0 for 2 with a walk in the first game. He's up there leading off the top of the second for the Tigers. It's a strike right through there, strike one called. So a 5-2 lead for the Blue Devils. They scored that on 4 hits, 2 runs and a hit for the Tigers. There's a foul ball headed down the first baseline and foul. So 0-2 the count on Specht. If both teams do this much scoring each inning, it's going to be a crazy game. Hopefully everybody will settle down. Outside, ball 1, 1 ball, 2 strikes on Specht. Foul ball out of play over the third base dugout. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Specht leading off the top of the second. There's a ball hit deep to right field. And that is a home run by George Specht. So he gets back one of the runs. That'll make it 5-4. So 5-3. That'll bring up Tyler Halstead. Halstead was 1 for 2 with an RBI base hit and a walk. He takes ball 1. Comes the 1-0. That's high, ball 2. So 2-0 the count on Tyler Halstead, the center fielder. Outside, ball 3. Three and 0 the count. There's one right through there for strike 1 called. 3-1 the count on Halstead. There's ball 4. So in effect, that's a leadoff walk. It's going to bring up Milligan. He walked his first time up. Strike called outside corner at the knees. Milligan walked his first time up. He's up there with nobody out, runner at first. Throw back over to first and very close, but safe is Halstead. Another throw back over, back in safely again. Strike called, just catches the outside corner at the knees. So 0-2. Santiago at third, Bednar at short, Harder at second, Hinestrosa at first. Everett behind the plate catching Soto. There's a foul ball down the third baseline. In left field is Henry, centered field, Acosta, and in right field, Schrick. That's your defensive alignment for the Blue Devils. 0-2 the count again. Still nobody out. Time asked for by Tyler Halstead, the center fielder, and granted. Throw back over, back in again safely is Halstead. Just misses a little bit outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Comes the 1-2. It's a fly ball to deep right field. Schrick has that, and back to first is Halstead. So a fly to right field by Milligan, the first out of the inning. So that's going to bring it up Brothers. Brothers was hit by a pitch, his first at bat this game. He'll be up there with a runner at first and 1 out. Face Soto for his second time. Runner goes, pitch out actually, and out at second base. So now 2 outs with Brothers at the plate. He'll be up there with 2 outs, the count 1-0.
Yeah,
0-1 the count. I think it was the hitter trying to, the strike call trying to either be a hit and run, but I think we had the pitch out called and he kind of waved at it. There's a strike called on the outside corner. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to the left fielder, Brothers. Outside and all the way back to the screen. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs here in the top of the second. 1 run in the inning by the home run by George Specht. It's his first home run of the year. That ball just misses, so 3-2 the count. Comes the 1 and the 3-2. Way high ball 4. So a 2-out walk. It's going to bring up Parker Dunn, the right fielder. He struck out his first time up. Strike called. Outside, ball 1, 1 ball and a strike. Brothers at first base. There's a throw over back in safely. Is Blaze Brothers. Comes the stretch in the 1-1. Just misses outside. 2 balls and a strike. Comes the 2-1 inside, ball 3. So 3-1 the count. Soto struggling to find the zone a little bit right now. See if he can settle down and get in a rhythm and get that found. 3-1 the count, 2 outs, runner at first. Misses low and outside, so back-to-back 2-out walks. That's going to bring up Logan Steenstra. Steenstra hit a wicked line drive right at Kemper Bednar at short with runners at first and second, his last at bat. Griffin Everett out to have a quick word with Soto. He's back ready to go. Steenstra steps in. Breaking ball way outside. 1-0 the count on Steenstra. Low and outside again. Going to have a visit to the mound. May have a pitching change. We'll see. We'll be back. No change to be made at this point. Runner at first, 2-0 the count. Runners at first and second. They're the strike on the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike to the shortstop, Steenstra. Comes the 2-1. Ball down the right field line into the dugout of the Tigers and foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Here in the top of the second. There's a check swing foul ball. We'll do the 2-2 again. There's a foul ball all the way back to the screen. We'll 2-2 it again. There's another foul ball out of play. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to Steenstra. Swing and a miss. So at the end of 1.5, Blue Devils lead 5-3. Bottom of the second, 5-3 Blue Devils lead. Harder, Acosta, Hinestrosa scheduled up. Miguel Obesa back for his second inning of work. He pitched the 2/3 of the first. There's a swing and a miss on a ball all the way back to the screen. Harder was up when they scored the run on the steal attempt to end the inning. That's high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Harder. Comes the wind in the 1-1. There's a line drive into left field for a hit. So a leadoff base hit for Harder. And back to the top of the order in Acosta. He had a base hit up the middle his first time up. There's a high chopper just wide of third base. Owen won the count on Acosta. The Tigers took the first game. The Blue Devils leading here in the second one. There's a ground ball headed to the second baseman, and it hits his glove. It's going to be an error on the second baseman. It's going to bring up Hinestrosa. He had a base hit to right field his first time up. There's a ground ball. The first baseman dives and gets it. Going to try and go to second and can't. Tosses it to the pitcher covering. So that ground out moves the runners to second and third. Nice diving play. He was in at the grass. Definitely saved 2 runs for the moment. It's going to bring up Santiago. He flew out to right field his first time up in this second game. He'll be up there with 1 out. Runners at second and third. Breaking pitch stays up high. Comes the 1-0. Another breaking pitch down low. Two and 0 the count, 1 out, runners at second and third. Foul ball down the right field line by Santiago. Harder at third. Acosta at second. Santiago at the plate. 5-3 lead. See if Santiago can get something on the outfield grass to raise that number. There's a strike called outside corner at the knees. So 2 balls, 2 strikes to Kevin Santiago. The third baseman. stretch and the pitch by Obeso. Way outside. So 3-2 the count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and an out. Runners at second and third. Comes the 3-2. Waits on a breaking ball and fouls it. Over the third base side. So we'll do the 3-2 again. Comes the stretch and the 3-2. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. So 2 outs. It's going to bring up Sosa. He had a 2 RBI double his first time up. He'll step in with 2 outs and runners at second and third. Harder at third, Acosta at second. There's a ground ball headed at the shortstop. He's up with it and over to first. So Steenstra over to DeSimone, and at the end of 2, Blue Devils lead 5-3. Soto back for his third inning of work, top of the third. Steffens, DeSimone, and Sater scheduled up for the Tigers. Steffens walked his first time up. He's the designated hitter. Foul ball back and out of play. Misses low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Steffens leads off the top of the third for Cowley. Comes the 1-1 way outside. 2 balls and a strike. There's a line driver right up the middle for a base hit. It's going to bring up Daniel DeSimone. He's the first baseman. He had a 2 RBI base hit up the middle his first time up. He'll be up there with nobody out and a runner at first. There's a strike right through there. 0-1 the count on DeSimone. A little bit inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Way outside. Nice job by Everett keeping that from going all the way to the screen. 2 balls and a strike. to the first baseman, DeSimone. There's a foul ball back to the screen. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. So down on strikes is DeSimone. That's going to bring up Sater. Sater flew out to right field his first time up, facing Soto. Soto will face him with 1 out and 1 on. There's a strike on the outside corner at the knees. Just stays a little bit outside. High and outside. 2-1 the count. Foul ball headed down the right field line and into the bullpen of the Blue Devils. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to the number 7 hitter, Sater, the second baseman. He's up there left-handed, facing the right-handed throwing Soto. Comes the 2-2, stays outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and an out. Ball 4, a little bit low. It's going to bring up Specht. Specht led off the second inning with a home run. We're going to have a visit to the mound and a pitching change. We'll make that change, get the changes, and we'll be back. So Hunter Paxton on in relief of Carlos Soto. Soto goes 2 2/3. Paxton will come to the mound with his 5.23 ERA and face George Specht. Specht had the home run. There is a strike called, the home run, his last at bat. 5-3 lead for the Blue Devils. Another strike outside corner at the knees. He could stay right there with that pitch all day long and do just fine. Comes the 0-2. Misses just a little bit outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Paxton to Specht. There is a swing and a miss for the second strikeout of the inning. So 2 outs. We'll bring up Halstead. He walked his last time up. Strike called, just catches the outside corner. The lefty Paxton comes from way over by the first base side, cuts that thing across there. There's a swing and a miss of that second offering. So 0-2 the count. Oh and 2. Halstead, the number 9 hitter, he's up there with 2 outs. Runners at first and second. Steffens at second. Sater at first. Comes the 0-2. Just misses a little bit low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That ball hits him right on the knee. So back to the top of the order we go. Cody Milligan will step in. He's the catcher. He'll step in with 2 outs and the bases loaded. Foul ball down the left field line and out of play. Oh and 1 the count. Swing and a miss of that pitch. So 0-2 now again to Milligan. Foul ball back and out of play. Oh and 2 the count. Paxton on in relief. Another foul ball over the third base dugout. Bases full of Tigers. 0 and 2 the count. 2 outs, 5-3 lead. This the second game. It'll be a 9-inning scheduled game. The first game was won by Cowley 3-1 in 7. Pitches way outside, ball 1. 1 and 2 the count. Comes the 1-2 outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Comes the 2-2. Another foul ball over the third base dugout. Comes the 2-2. It's a little ground ball headed toward the first baseman. Gonna hand it up, and they calls him out. So a bang-bang play over there, but we go to the bottom of the third. Blue Devils ahead 5-3. Henry, Bednar, and Everett scheduled up. Obeso back for another inning of work. He came in after 1 out in the first. We're now in the bottom of the third. Blue Devils lead 5-3. Henry had a base hit to left field his first time up. That breaking ball catches the inside corner. 0-1. Foul ball just foul down the right field line. Pretty much in straightaway right field is 375, but each of the lines are down to 290. So if he gets that one inside the pole, that one is out of there.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
0-2 the count. Breaking ball goes to right field again. Over to take care of that. And the right fielder may have just robbed Tyler Henry of a home run. A nice play by the right fielder done for the the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up Kemper Bednar. Bednar reached on an error his first time up. Ball's a little bit high, ball 1. One and 0 the count. Inside, ball 2, 2-0 to the shortstop, Kemper Bednar. Comes the 2-0. Strike called. Pretty wide, pretty low. Strike, 2-1. Line drive, foul down the right field line. So quickly from 2-0 to 2-2. Comes the wind in the pitch. Breaking ball down and in the dirt. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out to Kemper Bednar. Miguel Obeso on the mound. Foul ball. Obeso is from Dover, Oklahoma. So we'll do the 3-2 again. And a swing and a miss of that breaking ball for the second out of the inning. It's going to bring up Griffin Everett. He grounded out to the first baseman. Second baseman with the air. And the throw then goes in over by the dugout, and to second base is Everett. That'll bring up Matt Schrick. Schrick reached on a base on balls his last time up. He'll be up there with 2 outs and Everett at second base. Obeso not comfortable, steps off. 5-3 lead with the Blue Devils batting here in the bottom of the third. 9 innings scheduled game. Cowley took the first game. Doubleheader on Saturday at Cowley. There's a breaking ball right through there. That's right. 0-1. Outside. 1 ball and 1 strike to the right fielder, Matt Schrick. Comes the 1-1. Just misses. Low and or outside, so 2 balls and 1 strike on Matt Schrick. Breaking ball outside, 3-1. Ball 4. It's going to bring up Trace Harder. Going to get a visit to the mound. We'll check the change and we'll be back. All right, no change to be made there. Runners at first and second, 2 outs. Trace Harder to the plate. He had a base hit to left field his last time up. Strike right through there. 0-1 the count. Outside. 1 ball, 1 strike to the second baseman, Trace Harder. Comes the 1-1. Ground ball hit it at the shortstop. He's going to underhand to the second baseman. So Steenstra to Sater for the out. So at the end of 3 full innings, Blue Devils lead 5-3. We'll be back. Paxton Hunter back for another inning of work. Blaze Brothers up to the plate. There's a line drive headed for left field just over the glove of Kemper Bednar. So a base hit for Blaze Brothers, the left fielder. That'll bring up Parker Dunn. Parker struck out and walked so far. Takes a strike there. There's another strike outside part of the plate. Outside. Is it 1-2 or 1-1? Yes, 1-2. Comes the 1-2. Just gets the outside corner. That delivery way over from the first base side coming across catches that corner for the strikeout. It's going to bring up Logan Steenstra. He had a line drive to the shortstop and then struck out. He'll be up there with one out and a runner at first. There's a swing and a miss outside part of the plate. Swinging and missing is the shortstop Steenstra. Another swing and a miss. So 0-2 the count on Logan Steenstra. Comes the 0-2. Just misses a little bit outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sun shining brightly right now. Breeze out of the north, light breeze. Here comes the 1-2. Swing and a miss for a strikeout. So a base hit, then 2 strikeouts, and that's going to bring up Cade Steffens. In this game, he's walked and had a base hit to left field. He'll step in with 2 outs and a runner at first. There's a foul ball down the left field line. Comes an 0-1. The ground ball to Santiago. He's up with it and over to first. So at the end of 3.5, Blue Devils lead 5-3. We'll be back for the bottom of the 4th. Cade Carnes, a left-hander, on in relief of Obeso and White. 6.64 ERA. Acosta, Hinestrosa, and Santiago scheduled up to face him. Acosta has a base hit and reached on an error in this second game. That's low and inside, ball one. Ball two. Karn's 8th appearance, no record. Misses just a little bit inside, so quickly 3-0 the count with Acosta trying to get a leadoff walk here. Trying to get things started one way or another here in the bottom of the fourth. There's a strike right through there. Three balls, one strike. Comes the wind and the 3-1. There's a ground ball headed to the third baseman. He's up with it. And a one-hop throw to the first baseman. So Specht over to DeSimone, and DeSimone digs out a short hop to save his third baseman and record the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up Hinestrosa. Eric had a base hit to right field and then grounded out to the first baseman. He'll step in with one out, nobody on. Strike catches the outside corner. Now the Tigers have got a lefty that is kind of bringing across the outside corner. Tough on those left-handers. Here comes the 0-1. Breaking ball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out to the first baseman, number 7, Eric Hinestrosa. Comes the 1-1. Breaking ball comes right across the inside part of the plate. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Just a little bit low. 2-2 the count. Foul ball into the net. We'll do the 2-2 again. Outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and an out. Cade Carnes on in relief for the Cowley County Tigers. Here comes the 3-2. Ball 4. So a 1-out walk to Hinestrosa. That's going to bring up Kevin Santiago. Santiago flew out to right field and called out on strikes. Throw over to first, back in safely. Hinestrosa. 5-3 lead for the Blue Devils. They bat here in the bottom of the fourth. 9-inning scheduled game. Inside. 1-0 the count on Kevin Santiago. In the dirt, 2-0. Foul ball down the left field line. 2 balls and a strike. Like to see him turn on one and just keep it inside that foul pole down there. Two balls and a strike. Strike called, bottom part of the zone down the middle. So 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Hinestroza at first. He worked a 1-out walk. Comes the 2-2. Throw over to first, back in safely as Hinestroza. Comes the 2-2. Nope, going to go to first again. Nothing doing over there. Foul ball down the right field line. So far this at bat, Santiago has hit the ball a long way a couple of times, but each time foul, once to left, once to right. See if he can get one fair. Here comes the 2-2. Inside. So 3-2 the count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out to the third baseman, Santiago. Swing and a miss for the second out of the inning. It's going to bring up Sosa. Jose's the designated hitter. He's had a double with 2 RBI and grounded out to the shortstop. Swing and a miss. 0-1 the count. Strike called. 0-2. Just a little bit low. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Sosa. Nothing doing over at first. Throw back over to first, back in safely, but close was Hinestroza. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at first. Bottom of the 4th. Another throw to first, back in safely as Hinestroza. Ball 3. Jose thought that he was hit. Don't think he's going to talk him into that one. Very well could have been, but nonetheless, 3-2 the count. 3-2 the count, 2 outs. It's a ground ball hit it at the shortstop. He's up with it over to first base. So Steenstra over to DeSimone for the 3rd out. We go to the 5th. Blue Devils lead 5-3. Paxton Hunter back for another inning of work. DeSimone, Sater, and Specht scheduled up. There's a foul ball. Over by the first base side. DeSimone has a base hit to center field and a strikeout. That ball catches the outside corner, so quickly 0-2 on the tall first baseman. Fly ball, foul down the right field line. Simone, 6'4". Here comes the 0-2 again. Another foul ball down the right field line. Comes the 0-2. A little bit outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Strike 3 called, just catches the corner. It's going to bring up Sater, the second baseman, Carson Sater. He's flown out and walked in this second game. Number 22, Tristan Diaz, pinch hitting again. He pinch hit in the first game. One ball, 1 strike, the count on Diaz. It's a line drive right at Harder at second base for the out, second out of the inning. Diaz hits it hard but comes up empty. It's going to bring up Specht. Specht has a home run and a strikeout in this second game. Ball inside. There's a ball headed for left field for a base hit. So a 2-out hit for Specht. He's got a home run and a single in this second game. It's going to bring up Halstead. Halstead, the center fielder, he'll be up there with 2 outs, stepping in lefty versus lefty. He's had a walk and hit by a pitch. There's a ball to left field. Coming in hard is Tyler Henry to make that play. So at the end of 4.5, Blue Devils lead 5-3. Bottom of the 5th we go. Henry, Bednar, and Everett scheduled up. They'll face Cade Carnes, who came on in relief. Henry had a base hit, and then the right fielder robbed him of a home run his last time up. He takes ball 1. Turns on that one and drives it over by the dugout of the third base side. 1 ball, 1 strike. 3 runs on 5 hits for Cowley. 5 runs on 5 hits for the Blue Devils. Cowley with 3 errors in this second game. 1 ball, 1 strike to Tyler Henry, the left fielder. High ball 2. So 2-1 the count on Tyler Henry. There's a ball deep to center field. Gets a little bit in the sun, but Halstead brings that in for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up Bednar. Bednar reached on an error and struck out in this second game. He'll be up there with 1 out and nobody on. Sun came out brightly right at the end of that play. Made it a little tough for Halstead, but a real bright sunshine right now. Lighting the field up much better than it's been most of the day. 1 out, Bednar steps in. Takes strike on the inside corner. 0-1. Just misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. Breaking ball just gets back to the zone from the lefty Carnes. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to Bednar. Inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Bednar. Comes the wind and the 2-2. Fouled away. So we'll do the 2-2 again. Right at halfway through this second one, the Tigers of Cowley County took the first one 3-1. Blue Devils lead here 5-3. There is a foul ball just hanging in there, barely, is Bednar. Comes the wind and the 2-2. Swing and a miss for the second out of the inning. It's going to bring up Everett. Everett grounded out to the first baseman on a very nice play. The first baseman over to the pitcher, and then he reached on an error by the second baseman. He'll step in with 2 outs and nobody on. Foul ball back over the top of us for an 0-1 count. Just a little bit low and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Blue Devils batting here in the bottom of the 5th. Ground ball just fair, and that's going to be a hit. Third baseman has done a nice job all day long over there. Specht has. He went deep behind the bag, grabbed that one, threw one hopper over there that is going to be ruled a hit. So 2 out hit by Everett. So that's going to bring up Schrick. He's walked twice in this second game. He'll be up there with a runner at first and 2 outs. Swing and a miss of that first offering by Carnes. One ball, 1 strike. Everett at first. Comes the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Comes the stretch by Carnes and the 1-2 pitch. That's low, ball 2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs to the right fielder, Schrick. Ground ball hit it at the shortstop. He's going to shovel it over to the second baseman. So Steenstra over to Diaz, actually. And we go to the top of the 6th. Blue Devils up by 2. Paxton Hunter back for another inning of work. Back to the top of the order. Milligan with a double to right field. It's going to bring up Blaze Brothers. He's been hit by a pitch, walked, and had a single. He'll step in with nobody out and a runner at second base. Squares to bunt. Ball one. Sure looked like an offer to me, but he calls it a ball. It's hard to get that bat back when you square to bunt and one's coming right at your belly button. Here comes the 1-0. Nope. Going to get a timeout called. Santiago and Bednar swapping spots at short and second once seeing the bunt. There's a ball to shallow right field. Everybody chasing that ball's going to drop. Moving to third is Milligan. We made that switch on the infield one other time, maybe last week, but in the last couple of weeks here. That's going to fall for a base hit for Blaze Brothers. So runners at the corners and nobody out. Parker Dunn, the right fielder, will step in. He struck out twice and walked in this second game. Misses outside, ball one. 1-0 the count. Lefty versus lefty. There's a line drive headed into left center. It's going to be an RBI double. Actually going to score 2 runs. And then the throwing error is going to allow the double to then move up to third. Going to have a visit to the mound. Probably a pitching change. We'll make that change. We'll be back. Xavier Morin from Edgerton, Kansas will bring his 4.41 ERA to the mound. Score now tied at 5. Runner at third, still nobody out. Misses inside, ball 1. Logan Steenstra steps in. He had a line drive to the shortstop and struck out twice in this second game. 1-0 the count to him. Foul ball out of play. One ball, one strike. Nobody out with Steenstra batting here in the top of the 6th. The Tigers plated 2 to tie it. Outside, 2 balls and a strike. 9-inning scheduled game just tied up here in the top of the 6th. Comes the 2-1 from Xavier. Just misses 3-1. Comes the 3-1. Swing and a miss of that fastball. So 3-2 the count to Steenstra, the shortstop. It's a ground ball headed up the middle, and that's going to be an RBI base hit for Steenstra. So 6-5 lead, still nobody out. Steenstra at first. It's going to bring up the designated hitter, Steffens. He's had a walk, a base hit, and a ground out. Takes ball 1. 1-0 the count. Throw to first. And he got him. Steenstra out on the pickoff play. So 1-0 the count. Strike on the outside corner at the knees to Steffens. Comes the 1-1. Low and outside, 2-1. Two balls and a strike. Fly ball over into left field, taken care of by Henry for the second out of the inning. It's going to bring up D. Simone, the first baseman. He had a base hit to center field and a couple strikeouts. He'll be up there with 2 outs, nobody on. Pitch just misses down, 1-0. So the Tigers have taken a 6-5 lead with a 3 spot here in the 6th. There's ball 2. So 2-0 the count on the first baseman, Daniel D. Simone. Foul ball over the first base dugout, now to play. Two and one. Morin on in relief of Paxton. That misses a little bit low, 3-1. Soto was the starter, then Paxton came in, now Morin. Xavier, right-hander, 3-1 to the batter. There's a ball to deep left field. Got turned around, did Henry. I thought maybe that ball would get out, but the breeze coming in from the north keeps that as a double. The wind probably took that ball back towards center, made it tough, got him turned around. It'll be a double for DeSimone. It's going to bring up Diaz. Diaz pinch hit and hit a line drive at the second baseman. His first time up. It's a ground ball headed at Santiago. He's got it over to Hinestroza for the out. So 3 runs in the inning for the Tigers to take a 6-5 lead. We go to the bottom of the 6th in this 9-inning game. We'll be back. Bottom of the 6th we go. Blue Devils now trailing the Tigers of Cowley 6-5 after that 3-run top of the 6th. Harder at the place to face Carnes. Outside ball 1. Harder has a base hit to left field and grounded into a fielder's choice to the shortstop. 1-0 the count on him. Misses outside and high. 2-0 the count. Harder, the second baseman. Acosta and Hinestrosa scheduled up after him. Strike called inside corner. 2 balls and a strike. Trace Harder. Comes the 2-1. Fly ball headed to right center. Over to take care of that is Halstead. I'll bring up Eduardo Acosta. He's got a base hit, reached on an air and grounded out to the third baseman. He'll step in with 1 out, nobody on, as the Blue Devils trail 1 as they bat here in the bottom of the 6th inning. A little bit high, ball 1. 1-0 the count on Acosta. Foul ball back to the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Outside ball 2, 2-1. Comes the 2-1. Foul ball down into the feet. Costa trying to shake that thing off. Tigers with 2 in the first, 1 in the second, and 3 in the sixth. Blue Devils with 5 in the first, and that's our 6-5 trail the Blue Devils do right now in the bottom of the sixth. Acosta steps back in. Comes the wind in, the pitch from Carnes. And a base hit, and heading into left field. Going to make a hard turn and shut her down, but he's got a 1-out hit into left field. It's going to bring up Hinestroza. He has a base hit, a ground out, and a walk in this second game. He'll step in with 1 out and a runner at first after that 1-out base hit by Acosta. Outside ball 1. One and 0 the count. Strike called. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Blue Devils trail by 1. They bat here in the bottom of the sixth. Hinestroza, the first baseman, at the plate. In the dirt, nicely blocked by the catcher, Milligan. Throw over to first, back in safely is Acosta. Throw to first, back in safely. Three and 1. Ball 4. So 1 out, runners at first and second. That's going to bring up Santiago. Santiago flew out to right field. Going to have a visit to the mound. Going to have a pitching change. We'll get that change, and we'll be back. All right. Number 25, Ethan Swanson brings his 1.77 ERA to the mound. He is from Alva, Oklahoma. Santiago in to face him. Santiago has fly out and a couple of strikeouts. Strike called 0-1. One out, runners at first and second. Blue Devils trail by one. See if Santiago can get something on the outfield grass to get Acosta home from second. Outside. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out to the third baseman, Santiago. Misses outside. 2 balls and a strike. Ground ball headed to right. First baseman cuts that off and gets the out at second. And then Acosta scores. So a run will score. The fielder's choice out makes the second out of the inning. Then the run scores on the throw from second. So that fielder's choice gets it tied at 6. Acosta scores. Sosa at the plate. He takes a strike, and then he hits one right back to the pitcher. He underhands it, so Swanson over to DeSimone, but the Blue Devils get it tied up. We're tied at 6. We'll go to the 7th. Xavier Morin back for another inning of work. We're tied as we go to the top of the 7th inning. Specht, Halstead, and Milligan scheduled up for the Tigers. Ball 1 low to the third baseman, Specht. He's had a home run, a strikeout, and a base hit in this second game. Strike called at the knees down the middle. So 1 ball, 1 strike to George Specht. Called swing. Tried to check his swing, but he couldn't do it. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Foul ball backing out of play, so we'll do the 1-2 again. One ball, two strikes to Specht. There's a foul ball, so we'll do the 1-2 again. Soto started the game. Paxton came in relief. Now Xavier Morin on the mound. Comes the 1-2. Just misses a little bit outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Comes the 2-2. Swing and a miss for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Tyler Halstead, the center fielder. He'll step in on the left-handed side to face Morin with 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Foul ball backing out of play. Little bit inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Comes the stretch in the 1-1. A little bit low. 2-1 the count. Top of the 7th inning. This is the 9-inning scheduled game. Swing and a miss. Fastball outside part of the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's a ground ball headed to Harder. Harder up with it underhands quickly to Hinestroza for the second out of the inning. So back to the top of the order, Cody Milligan, the catcher. He's had a walk, a fly out, a ground out, and a double to right field. He'll step in with 2 outs, nobody on. Pitch misses outside, ball 1. Strike called. One ball, 1 strike. High chopper toward Hinestroza. He takes it, steps on the bag. We go to the bottom of the 7th, tied at 6. We'll be back. To the bottom of the 7th we go, tied at 6 with the Cowley County Tigers. Henry, Bednar, and Everett scheduled up for the Blue Devils. Henry's had a base hit, been robbed of a home run by the right fielder. There's a ground ball headed to the shortstop. Stinstra up with it and over to first base for the out. So Stinstra to DeSimone for the first out of the inning. Kemper Bednar, he's reached on an error and had a couple of strikeouts in this second game. Let's call him due, and let's see if he can get things going here for the Blue Devils. In the bottom of the 7th, strike one called. 0-1 the count. Swanson on the mound for his second inning of work. There's a breaking ball, makes it back to the strike zone. So quickly 0-2 the count on Bednar. Misses just a little bit outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2-2. Pardon me, 2-2. Strike 3 called. It's going to bring up Griffin Everett. Grounded out to the first baseman, reached on an error and had a base hit deep to the hole, actually deep behind third base. He steps in with 2 outs and nobody on. Misses outside, ball 1. Comes the 1-0 from Swanson. One of those 54-footers, man. 2-0 the count. Everett the catcher, the platoon catcher. Here comes the 2-0 to him. Strike right through there. Swing and a miss. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs to Griffin Everett. Ground ball headed to Stinstra. He's up with it over to DeSimone. So at the end of 7, we're tied at 6. We'll be back. Gabe Ramos on in relief outside to Blaze Brothers. Strike called. Ground ball over to Harder and to Hinestroza. Parker Dunn up with 1 out. Just misses a little bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Deep fly ball. And that's going to be hit right at the base of the fence. So a double to dead center virtually for Parker Dunn. Number 9, Cade Gonzalez from Ark City, Kansas to run for Dunn. So Steenstra will step in. He's 1 for 4 in the second game. Strike called. Comes the 0-1. Sweeps away outside, so 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Cade Gonzalez from Ark City. Inside, just misses. 2-1 the count on Steenstra. Two balls and 2 strikes. Misses a little bit inside, 3-2 to Steenstra. Foul ball back to the screen. Top of the 8th. Tied at 6. Ramos on in relief. Steenstra at the plate. Pinch runner Gonzalez at second after the double by Dunn. Comes the 3-2. Swing and a miss of that fastball for the second out of the inning. It's going to bring up Cade Steffens. He's 1 for 3 with a base hit and a walk in this second game. He'll be up there with 2 outs and a runner at second. Misses inside, ball one. There's a strike. Breaking ball right through there. 1-1 strike to the designated hitter, Cade Steffens. He's in there on the left-handed side. Here comes the 1-1. Strike called outside corner at the knees. Foul ball laced down the left field side. Ricochets out on the field. Tyler Henry get that captured and thrown in. We'll have a 1-2 strike count when everybody's ready to go again. Ramos back on the mound. Steffens back in at the plate. Here comes the 1-2. Foul ball into the dugout. Excuse me, not the dugout, the bullpen of the visiting Tigers of Cowley County Community College. The Tigers took the first game 3-1. We're tied at 6 here. We'll have the final 2 games at Arc City on Saturday to get this 4-game set in. Here comes the 1-2. Misses outside. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs to the designated hitter, Steffens. Comes the 2-2. It's a high fly ball to right center. Chasing after that and has it is Schrick. So we go to the bottom of the 8th. We're still tied at 6. Matt Schrick, Trace Harder, and Eduardo Acosta scheduled up for the Blue Devils. Swanson back to the mound for the Tigers. Strike 1 count on Schrick. He is 0 for 1 with a couple of walks. There's a swing and a miss, so down in the count 0-2 is Schrick, the right fielder. Little bit low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. To the right fielder, Matt Schrick. Curveball. Breaking ball stays inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A line drive down the right field line, but foul. 2-2 the count. As Schrick leads off the bottom of the 8th for the Blue Devils. We're tied at 6. Scheduled 9-inning game. There's a line drive. He waited on that breaking ball and then hit a line drive right at the third baseman for the out. Coach going to come down to argue that point. So the question is, was it on the throw, they're saying? So a line out to the third baseman by Schrick. It's going to bring up Harder. Harder's 1 for 3 in the second game. Breaking pitch stays inside. Comes the 1-0. Ground ball, high chopper to the third baseman. He's up with it and over to first. So Specht over to DeSimone for the second out. It's going to bring up Acosta. He's 2 for 4 with a couple of base hits. In this second game is way outside ball 1. In the dirt, ball 2. 2-0 the count to Acosta. There's a foul ball. So swinging away with a 2-0 count is Acosta, so 2-1. So White, Obeso, Carnes, and now Swanson pitching for the Tigers. Have pitched for the Tigers. Here comes the 2-1. There's ball 3. So 3-1 the count on the center fielder, Eduardo Acosta. Foul ball back and over the top of us and out of play. So 3-2 the count. With 2 outs and nobody on. There's a breaking ball waited on and lined into left field. Gets past the left fielder. He's going to get to second and stop there. So it's going to be a single and then an error to move up to second base. So it'll be a hit, then an error. So a 2-out double, or 2-out single, and then ends up at second base. Does going to have a visit to the mound. We'll take a break. We'll be back. Hinestroza takes ball 1-0. He's 1 for 2 with a base hit and a couple of walks in this second game. Ball headed down the left field line and foul. One ball, one strike, 2 outs, runner at second base. Trying to get that run home to take the lead here in the bottom of the 8th is Hinestroza. A little bit low, 2 balls and a strike. Comes the 2-1. Not sure where that missed, but it certainly was in favor of the Blue Devils here. 3 balls and a strike. Three and 1. Ball 4. So that's going to bring up Santiago. He is 0 for 4 in this second game. He'll step in to face Swanson with 2 outs. Going to make a pitching change. We'll find out who that pitcher's going to be. We'll be back. So the pitching change has been made. A right-hander, Jared Wilson, will come in. He has a 3.44 ERA. Jared is from Kansas City, Missouri. He will take the mound in relief with 2 outs and 2 on at first and second to face Santiago. Santiago looking for his first hit, I believe, of the day. Takes ball 1. This would be a good time for it. Yeah. 1-0. Kevin Santiago, the third baseman, at the plate. Jared Wilson, right-hander from Kansas City, Missouri, on the mound. Swing and a miss. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Comes the 1-1. And another swing and a miss. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Catcher going to go out and have a visit with his pitcher. Milligan to visit with Wilson. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Tied at 6th here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Once again, I'd like to thank those of you that are watching and or listening. I appreciate it. This broadcast is brought to you solely by Kansas City, Kansas Community College and Coach Golbeck and the baseball team. So 1-2 the count. Santiago back in. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. So we go to the 9th. We're tied at 6. To the top of the 9th we go. Ramos back for another inning of work on in relief. DeSimone, Diaz, and Specht scheduled up for the Tigers. Simone is 2 for 4. He's got a base hit with 2 RBI, a couple of strikeouts, and a double. Comes the 0-1 pitch. Strike 2 called on the inside corner. So 0-2 the count on DeSimone, the first baseman. Here comes the 0-2. It's a high chopper toward Bednar. He's going to grab it and throw a one-hopper to Hinestrosa, and Hinestrosa with the scoop for the out. So a 6-3. That's going to bring up Tristan Diaz. Diaz has lined out and grounded out in this second game. He had a pinch hit in the first game. Here comes the pitch. Just catches the inside corner. Does that breaking pitch? Just misses inside. So 1 ball 1 strike. One and one the count. Ramos on the mound. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. There's a base hit into right field. Going for 2 is Diaz, and he's going to be in with a double. So 1 out, 1 on in scoring position. It's going to bring up Specht. He had a home run, a base hit, and a couple of strikeouts. He is a switch hitter now facing the right-hander. Strike called. So 2 for 4 with a home run in this second game for the third baseman, Specht. Way outside. Runner's going to try and go. Thought we had a chance to get him, but did not. So now the go-ahead run is at third base with only 1 out. So that's going to bring the infield in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Specht back in. Check swing. Runner at third. 2-1 the count. Just misses low. 3-1. So the go-ahead run at third with only 1 out. 3-1 the count on Specht. Just misses a little bit outside. So that's going to bring up Tyler Halstead, the center fielder, with runners at the corners and 1 out. So we'll see how the defense is going to set for going to have a timeout and a visit with the third base coach. Going to get a visit to the mound by Coach Goldbeck as well to decide what the defense is going to do here, if we're going to set for double play depth or if we're going to play for the out at home. After the visit, we'll be back. So Halstead to step in. The infield at the grass. Throw to first, back in safely was Specht. Another throw over, back in safely. Diaz at third. He is the go-ahead run. Just misses outside, so 1-0 the count. Over to first, back in safely. is specked. Diaz at third, specked at first, 1 out. Halstead, the center fielder, at the plate. He bats left-handed. Here comes the pitch. 2-0 the count. Check swing. Ruled a check swing. Comes the 2-0. There's a strike called right through there. So 2 balls and a strike to the center fielder, Halstead. Comes the 2-1. That's ball 3 high. No one working in the Blue Devils bullpen. So Ramos is on his own anyway at this point. Here comes the 3-1. Foul ball back to the screen. Three balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runners at the corners. Infield for the Blue Devils, in at the grass. Throw to first, still safe. Nothing doing over there. Swing and a miss. So there's the second out of the inning. So that's going to be back to the top of the order, Cody Milligan. They're going to put him on. That's going to bring up Blaze Brothers. He's 2 for 3. A fly ball headed down the right field line, but out of play. So 0-1 the count on him. Diaz at third. Specht at second. Milligan at first. Blake Brothers, the left fielder, at the plate. The go-ahead run is 90 feet away. 0-1 the count. Gabe Ramos on in relief. There's a foul ball out of play down the right field line. So 0-2 the count on Brothers. Comes the 0-2. The ground ball to Santiago. Over to third. Actually, that was Holder in at third base. So Holder over to Hinestroza, and we're going to go to the bottom of the ninth. We're tied. We'll be back for the final part of this one. To the bottom of the ninth we go, tied at 6. Jared Wilson back for another inning of work on the mound for the Tigers. Sosa, Henry, and Bednar scheduled up for the Blue Devils. Sosa had a double in the first, and since then 3 ground outs. He'll step in as he leads off the bottom of the ninth. Takes ball 1 inside. Strike inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. One and one the count. Nobody out. Sosa at the plate. There's a foul ball down the right field line. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Comes the 1-2. That's low. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jose Sosa, the designated hitter. Foul ball over the first base dugout and out of play. Comes the 2-2. Ball 3. So Sosa, the leadoff hitter in the bottom of the ninth here for the Blue Devils with a 3-2 count, facing Wilson on the mound for the Cowley County Tigers. There's a line drive right at the second baseman. So he hits it hard, but to no avail. So the first out is a line drive to the second baseman, Diaz. That's going to bring up Tyler Henry. One out. Tyler Henry's had a base hit, robbed of a home run, and then a couple of fly outs. There's a swing and a miss of that pitch. So 0-1, hoping that he's not trying to do too much here. Comes the 0-1. It's a ground ball headed over to the shortstop. We'll see how they score that. It would have been deep in the hole, scored an error by the shortstop. Scorer has changed that to a hit. Steenstra ranged far over toward third base and couldn't quite glove it. So on at first is Henry. It's going to bring up Bednar. Bednar swings and misses at that first pitch. Bednar reached on an error and then has struck out 3 times since then. 0-1 the count on Bednar. Breaking pitch right through there, so down in the count 0-2 is Bednar. Comes the stretch and the 0-2. Swing and a miss. That's going to bring up Griffin Everett. Runner at first, 2 outs. Score tied here in the bottom of the 9th. The winning run at first base. Griffin Everett, the catcher, at the plate. He's had a base hit, reached on an error, and grounded out 2 other times. He's up there with 2 outs. Outside ball 1. Comes the 1-0. Fouled back to the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike to Griffin Everett. Comes the 1-1. Swing and a miss on that high fastball. One ball, 2 strikes to the catcher, Griffin Everett. There's ball 2 high, so 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs to Everett. Comes the stretch and the 2-2. Foul ball back to the screen. So we'll do the 2-2 again. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the 9th, we're tied. Foul ball back to the screen. Swing and a miss, so we'll go to the 10th. Tied at 6. Corbin Lill to pinch hit here to start off the top of the 10th and face Ramos. Squares to bunt and takes strike one. Corbin Lill with his first plate appearance of the day, and there's a swing and a miss. So down in the count quickly, 0-2. Lill has a 236 batting average, 11 RBI, couple of doubles. Strike three called on the outside corner. So quickly, one out. That's going to bring up the the shortstop, Steenstra. He'll step in with one out and nobody on. A little bit low, ball one. Steenstra is 1 for 5. There's a ground ball into right field for a base hit. So a one out hit for Steenstra. It's going to bring up Cade Steffens. He's 1 for 4 with a base hit and a walk. It's a ground ball with Bednar. Bednar up with it and over to Harder for the fielder's choice. So a 6-4 fielder's choice for the second out. That's going to bring up the first baseman, Daniel DeSimone. He's 2 for 5. 2 RBI, base hit, a single, couple of strikeouts and a ground out. Got a pinch runner at first. Could not see the number as he came in. Two outs. The pop up on the infield. Hinestroza working his way over to take care of that. For the third out, so we go to the bottom of the 10th, tied at 6. Wilson remains in relief for the Tigers. Schrick, Harder, and Acosta scheduled up for the Blue Devils. Schrick is 0 for 2 with a couple of base on balls. Low ball one. Pop-up going to get back over the top of us, so 1-1 to Matt Schrick, the right fielder, as he leads off the bottom of the 10th inning. There's a ball to deep right center. That's going to get over the top of the center fielder. Coming around second, headed for third, getting down, and that, the umpire and the third baseman get tied up, but we've got a lead-off triple for Matt Schrick. Sorry about my camera work there. I struggled a little bit as I was watching the umpire and the third baseman get tied up as they're coming in. So Schrick shaken up a little bit on the play as well. So a leadoff triple for Schrick. It's going to bring up Trace Harder. Harder is 1 for 4. Base hit, a couple of grounds out, and a pop out. So the shadow's starting to creep its way into the infield. So we're going to get a visit to the mound as well. So the winning run just 90 feet away after that leadoff triple by Matt Schrick. Drove one just a little bit to right center that got over the center fielder's head. So the winning run at third, Harder at the plate. Wilson in his stretch, Harder at the plate. Here comes the first pitch. Strike called right through there at the knees. 0-1 the count. Throw over to third, back in safely is Schrick. Infield in all the way around, the winning run at third. Comes the 0-1. A little bit low. 1 strike. Comes the 1-1. There's a ground ball. Seenstra has it and over to first. So a 6-3 ground out for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up Acosta. Acosta 3, for 5 in the second game. He'll step in with 1 out and the winning run at third. Acosta steps in. Wilson on the rubber. Here comes the stretch and the first pitch to Acosta. Foul ball out of play over the right field dugout. Over into the trees. 0-1 the account on Acosta. That's way up high, ball 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. 1 on at third, the winning run at third. Top of the 10th action. So they're going to intentionally put Acosta on. The Cowley coaching staff would much rather set up doubles plays here, so they're going to intentionally walk Hinostroza as well. So Holder had come in to play defense at third for Santiago. So now we're going to get a pinch hitter in JT Goodfellow. So Goodfellow, the catcher in the first game, will come in with the bases loaded and 1 out to try and walk this thing off. Up high, ball 1, so 1-0 the count to Goodfellow. Schrick at third. Bases loaded. There's a ground ball headed toward right field. So a walk-off hit to right field. As Goodfellow trying to stay ahead of that water bottle. So a 7-6 win for the Blue Devils to get a split here. 1 game won, 1 game lost. They lost the first one 3-1, win the second one 7-6. We'll go to Arc City for the other 2 games on Saturday. I will post on 4T's website. Cowley has an awesome broadcast down there, so I will post their website to watch the games. We'll see you from down there. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great evening.